Yeah, have you ever heard the band Virgin Black?
I know the name. I'm not
Yeah,
sure that I've ever heard them, but yeah.
they're
They've
like,
been around for a long time, right?
yeah, very long time. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, when I think of Australian Doom, that's pretty much what I come to. Just thinking of that one. All
Yeah.
right, well, are you ready for these questions from the fans? They're very excited.
Yeah, cool. Sure.
All right, here's a couple just from one of my writers, Mars, who lives in Iran, and he's a huge fan of Katatonia. That's at Hard Album Review on Instagram is his handle. He says, "Hello, Jonas. Along with Opeth and Anathema, you're one of my most popular bands in Iran. Did you know that? Sorry, one of the most popular bands in Iran. Did you know that? Would you ever like to hold a concert here, or at least somewhere in the Middle East when shows come back?"
I didn't know that, but I have met quite a few people from Iran that's come to other places because we've never played in Iran. But I met people in Turkey, in Lebanon, stuff like that. So I would love to play Iran. I'm not sure it's the safest place to go for a Swedish metal band, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah, they're a bit.
I would love to play anywhere in the world, basically.
Yeah, I think they're a bit strict on metal performances and such.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe people, uh, could go abroad to see us. That's maybe the easiest way.
yeah, definitely. Quite a few fans asked me this one as well. From Death Doom to Gothic to Progressive to Alternative, what does this constant change mean? Is it what you feel, or are there other factors that change the mood?
I don't know. It's hard to say because what this whole I wouldn't call it a change really because it's so ongoing and it's been going for the band's been almost going for 30 years now, and we always just try to entertain ourselves by doing stuff that we get excited from doing, and sometimes it goes in one direction and sometimes it's another direction, and it's uh, as long as it sounds like Catatonia, which I think it does still, I'm totally for it because it's keeping us on our toes a little bit. Treading some unknown waters is I think it's very good for the
Yeah,
creativity. So we're just gonna keep doing that, I guess. I don't want to be too stuck in a formula, even though we have a sound that we're very comfortable with. But it's good to take some excursions every now and then, just to keep yourself
yeah.
on the edge.
Like you said, it's a very natural writing process.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it just sort of comes and goes, and kind of just put it down in the studio, and that's what comes out, and it's always you guys.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. It's ongoing. We don't have a strict formula to follow, so we just
yeah,
try to.
Catatonia is a genre.
Yeah, yeah.
Clay Shaper on Twitter asked, or rather says, Catatonia is one of those remarkably good bands that age like fine wine. While a lot of bands lose their edge over the years, Catatonia just keeps getting better. I don't know how they do it, honestly. How do they keep improving their sound?
I think it all comes back to what we just talked about. That we want to keep ourselves on our feet, basically, and I think also within the band we do listen to a lot of music. We get inspired by so many different genres, and once you start putting that in a big melting pot, you get a lot of ideas and stuff that it feels like it's almost for free. You don't have to really sit down and think hard about what's going to make you or your next song original, because once you have a lot of stuff in your head, you get inspired, and I think that's some bands maybe lose that, but we haven't done that yet.
Oh, that's fantastic. Are there any like sort of underground bands in your area or anything that you sort of take inspiration from, or any newer bands that have been coming out that have sort of inspired Catatonia at all?
I do listen to a lot of metal stuff, but it's usually the stuff that I grew up listening to. And the more newer stuff, I get inspired from other genres, other types of music. So it's hard to say, but
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. God Almighty from Toilet of Hell on Twitter was very enthusiastic with this one. How much of the band has input on lyrical content, and how hard is it to achieve lyrics that are equally cryptic and melancholic at the same time? Also, tell them I love them and have Katatonia tattoos on my body, and yes, I'm crazy.
That's great to hear. It's usually me writing most of the lyrics. The other guys don't really, they don't want to interfere with that, I think. Anders sometimes write lyrics. And of course, if they want to see the lyrics beforehand, I'll show it to them. But I don't think they will doubt my ability to put the right words in the right song, And
Yeah,
of course, it's hard to. Sometimes it's hard to write lyrics because you don't want to repeat yourself, but you of course want to, as God Almighty said, to keep the abstract, the melancholic vibe, because it's what suits our music. So sometimes you have to think a little bit outside the box, and sometimes it works, and maybe sometimes it's not working. But I'm all for trying at least.
Absolutely. I'm sure the other guys are really busy, all honing their individual crafts as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if they wanna write the lyric, they can do that. But so far, it's not been the case, really.
yeah. Callan on Twitter wonders, why won't they play the song A Premonition live?
We have played it a few times, but it's not in our regular kind of live set.
Okay.
It's a song that doesn't really have a chorus. It's a very cool song. I love it, but I'm not sure it's a live banger.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freefolk217 from Reddit says, I'd love to know if Jonas and Bruce Sword are doing another record together.
Yeah, we've been talking about it ever since we did the first album together, but so far we haven't really had the time. He's incredibly busy with his stuff, and I'm really busy with what I'm doing. But actually, right now, maybe the time is right to give Mr. Sword a call, because he's probably just sitting at home like I do at the moment. So I will actually look into that and see what we can do.
Oh, that's great. Another similar one from Reddit from user High Tech vs Slow Life asked, any chance of a Jonas solo electronic album, possibly in the vein of Vakaran?
It's struck my mind a few times to do that, but right now it's I mean, most of the music that I write is for Katatonia, because Katatonia is the main thing. But I wouldn't say no to the possibility to do one day, a solo thing. But right now it's not on the horizon at the moment.
Okay. With many bands offering online alternatives to concerts during the COVID-19 situation, Black X Ranger on Reddit asked, would Katatonia be able to do a video concert?
Yeah, we've been talking about it. It's we don't have a full plan just yet, but we probably will try something out. Maybe later this month or next month. I don't know yet, but it's something that we talk about at least.
That's good to know. I think this is the last fan one. Quick album review on Instagram asks about your band name. What does Katatonia mean?
Katatonia is some kind of mental illness, or it's a state of mind, I think. It's a medical thing where you can't really move. It's like you're in a deep kind of apathy. It's a name that we took back in '91, but I think it's still suitable. It's a pretty good name. It's better than we called something much more death metal like, now that we sound like we do. I think we were calling ourselves Decomposed before Katatonia. I'm pretty glad that we changed it.
Yeah, well, Katatonia has definitely survived the eras of metal.
Yeah, exactly.
A name. Yeah. Well, thanks for answering all of their questions, and again for being on the show.
No problem.
Now we're going to listen to Lacquer, the third track on City Burials. What can you tell me about this track in particular?
It's a bit of a different track. It's more of the electronic stuff that we were talking about, and it's actually a song that I wrote. It's the last song written for the album because I started writing it when we already had entered the studio, and I think we were done with the drums and everything. That's why it's purely electronic. But I thought that the idea that I had was good enough to go on with, and so I completed the song while we were recording other stuff for the album.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's a bit of a fun fact there.
Well, I hope the fans will enjoy this, I'm sure, and they can look
Yeah,
forward to the rest of the album on the 24th of April.
yeah,
Thank you very much for being on Noob Heavy Radio. I hope you have a good day.
yeah. Thank you for having me. Cheers.
All right, see ya.
Yeah, see you. Bye bye.